So many questions, so little time. So I'm going to challenge you, Amanda, to try and give tweet-sized answers if you can,
Okay.
because I know we could talk all night.
Yes, you found my weakness clearly.
No. This is so interesting, but I want to try and squeeze in as many as possible. So some of the most popular ones from Rachel. What's more important from a climate perspective? What you eat or how far it's traveled to you?
Ooh, very good question and very hard question to answer. But the very tweet-sized answer, maybe like a triple sequence treat, is it all depends how the food travels to you. So if you get raspberries or asparagus that are air freighted from Chile, let's say, to the US, that can have a greater carbon footprint than a local steak that's produced at a farm nearby, right? There's certainly produce that can be more climate intensive than meat because it's flown. Shipping is a lot more carbon smart, let's say, than trucking and certainly air freight. And of course, it all depends on the efficiency of a local greenhouse. If you get a local produce that's produced with a lot of energy at a local greenhouse, that can be more energy intensive than produce that was grown outdoors from far away. But it's an impossible question to answer in a short answer. Overwhelmingly, if we can move to very efficient local and regional food production and cut out not just the carbon impact of long distance travel, but also the vulnerability in a climate stressed world, right? If you have to get your lettuce from 1,500 miles away, it's much more likely there will be a disruption in the, in that either lettuce production or the distribution of that lettuce. So I do think we're going to move more and more to local and regional systems and more efficient indoor production.
Cool. That was a tweet storm, but a good one at that.
Sorry.
Christelle asks, what development or technology holds the biggest potential to improve the fate of food, in your opinion?
I think meat alternatives, as I've said, there is a way to do craft meats and regenerative meat production, in particular red meat, beef and ruminant production, beef and lamb. There is a way to do that that's climate smart and even in very well managed cases carbon negative. But for the most part, meat production is so land intensive that it will be very important to move to plant-based meats and meat alternatives like cell-based meats, which I explored in the book. So I can't underemphasize the importance of really opening yourself to plant-based proteins, and even considering cell-based or cultured meats. And I think the products are a little creepy at first, but there's a lot of promise there.
Amazing. And final one, it's got 26 upvotes. With all of the revelations and accusations made recently by documentaries like Seaspiracy, do you still believe that fish farms and fishing in general can ever be truly sustainable?
Again, I think that there's a big range of answers. I mean, there are definitely huge impacts of aquaculture and fish farms. I think if we move to containment fish farms that can contain the wastes associated and the escapes associated with aquaculture, and deal with all the problems of on-land aquaculture, which is incredibly energy intensive, water intensive, and so forth. I think, yes, there is a way to do aquaculture sustainably, but we have a long way to go.
There we